Good morning. It's Thursday. My name is Denisia Pomaije. Welcome aboard to AM News. Now, we begin from the UK, where Ghana's High Commission in the country has assured that no Ghanaian has been attacked in the violent anti-immigrant protests sweeping across the United Kingdom. Protests first broke out last week after an anti-immigrant campaign stoked outrage over a stabbing attack that left 3 children dead in Southport. Now, the BBC has reported that at least 400 persons have been arrested so far, with 1 person jailed. Ghanaians living in the UK have raised concerns over their safety, especially as protests are intensifying in London on Wednesday. Now, first, listen to my colleague with the BBC, Daniel Dazi, reporting that at least 6,000 security officers have been deployed to contain the situation.
So currently, there's a general state of readiness. We've been speaking to the police, and our sources tell us that they're expecting about 100 incidents, not just in London, but across the country, in terms of the anti-immigrant protests. And then there will also be some 30 counter-protests to what is happening. They've deployed about 6,000 officers to basically show visibility and be there, of course, to quell any disturbances.
Well, Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, Papa Owusu Ankomah, has assured that no Ghanaian has been caught up in the protest.
No, certainly not. I mean, it's not as large-scale as people may think. It's rather isolated, except that it seems as if it's organized nationwide through social media by some extremist groups who are taking advantage of the frustration of some citizens of the UK and trying to promote ethnic animosity against minorities. I don't think any individuals or groups have been attacked warranting the intervention of any mission. No. I mean, these are quite isolated, even though it's calculated. And the media coverage has also then heightened, let's say, people's apprehension about these things escalating. But I dare say that, well, it will turn around in the next few days.
Now move to politics. The opposition National Democratic Congress is accusing the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, of double standards in the fight against corruption. Now, the NDC claims that a company allegedly belonging to the vice president's brother has received government contracts amounting to 218 million cedis through sole sourcing. More in this report.
The NDC contends that Dr. Bawumia, who has previously criticized sole sourcing, is now benefiting from it. The opposition party argues that this is a clear case of hypocrisy and double standards, undermining his public stance on transparency and accountability in government procurement. According to the NDC, the company in question is purportedly owned by a brother of Dr. Bawumia and has been awarded 5 contracts at an inflated price of 218 million cedis.
Contrary to his holier-than-thou rhetorics on the subject of sole sourcing in government procurement while in opposition, Bawumia today is the biggest promoter and beneficiary of sole sourcing. As we speak, sole sourcing has become the norm and the most preferred method of procurement for several dubious contracts awarded to relatives and cronies of the Vice President Alhaji Bawumia. Amount were colossal 218 million Ghana cedis, equivalent to 2.18 trillion old Ghana cedis.
The NDC has assured that if elected as president, John Mahama will tackle corruption head-on and prosecute persons found culpable of embezzling state funds.
As you may be aware, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised that he will confront the canker of corruption head-on by ensuring that the sword of accountability cuts both ways. He has promised to hold members of this corrupt Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP government accountable for all their corrupt acts. So, fellow countrymen and women, you can be rest assured that under the next NDC Mahama government, these sleazy, illegal, and inflated sole source contracts will be investigated and the Japadiate thieves prosecuted.
The party added that a vote for John Mahama is a vote for fighting corruption and the introduction of a 24-hour economic policy that will offer decent, well-paying jobs for the country's teeming unemployed youth.
From politics, let's move into the road sector. At the Mile 7 runabout, drivers are navigating more than just turns. They are dodging crater-sized potholes. These gaping road hazards are causing major traffic jams and wreaking havoc on vehicles, turning a simple commute into a daily obstacle course. Now, my colleague Jacqueline Ansuma has more in this report.
The Mile 7 road, a crucial artery for commuters from Taifa, Amasaman, Pokwase and its environs, has deteriorated into a hazardous path with gaping potholes. Well, just as you can see behind me, right all the way from New Plan and even from ABC getting to Mile 7 roundabouts is a vehicular traffic as at around 4:30, 5 p.m. that we were here. Even before 3 p.m. when we got here, there was vehicular traffic on this path. Well, we are here to speak to people who often use this route and people who stay around and even drivers to find out how this is affecting their livelihoods.
For the pothole size, I'll mostly complain about the pothole size because most of the time the cars, they speed, and then maybe because if there's a pothole there, you could see that as the tire can pass through there, maybe there will be a splash in the tire. Or most of the time, because of rainfalls, when the rainfall, you know that how the cars will speed, it takes a short way because the speed doesn't come, because they will have to limit in such a way that they won't overgo, because the pothole is really disturbing.
So now, you said earlier that you've been here for 7 years. Now 7 years, have you observed any accidents as a result of these potholes?
Yes, please. I've observed one at the Best Point side, because at that time I was crossing and there was a car that was also coming towards me. So before that pothole, the tire nearly burst.
So you nearly threw the car off? Yes,
please.
The road is not good at all. Sometimes it causes traffic on the road. Even for you to cross the road, it's very bad, actually, yes. So far, what I know about this road is very bad. So we please the government to come and do it for us immediately. That's here.
Now, what about you? This road, the runabout with the potholes coming all the way from, because I could see that was even earlier around 2 when I got to ABC, that was when the traffic started, but this is like 4, 5. And how does this affect you?
Okay, it causes a lot of traffic. Even 5, by now 6, 7, you see that the traffic gets worse and worse. It causes a lot of delays and stuff. When you get here early in the morning there is a lot of traffic here because of the potholes. But a lot of cars have to slow down so that they can make their way out.
The potholes are the main cause of traffic here. If they can help repair the roads, the traffic will be reduced. The potholes also sometimes damage the underside of my car. We have repeatedly reported the potholes at the roundabout, but no one has addressed the issue. When it rains or even at night, these potholes cause severe traffic jams, sometimes extending all the way to Achimota. We are tired of complaining and we are urgently requesting for your assistance.
Well, just as you can see behind me is the vehicular traffic coming all the way from New Plan. Earlier it started at ABC, and this side is a free road. So as soon as you get to the runabout at Mile 7 and you bypass and come forward a little bit, the traffic ceases. Just as we spoke to people who stay around and commuters, they shared with us how this is affecting their lives, and some calling on the government to come and help fix this road. This gaping potholes has been spoiling cars, and some complain about the fact that it even results in accidents. Reporting for Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
Well, some aggrieved staff of the produce buying company, PBC, stormed the head office in Accra, demanding payment of their 12 to 14-month salary arrears. Now, some staff members, now forced to ask for alms and borrow to survive, are calling on the government to sack the current management and probe their activities. My colleague Michael Ashali was there and now reports.
Scores of angry staff of produce buying company picketing the head office of PBC. They are concerned they haven't been paid for at least 12 months. They also allege that the current management has run down the company. Vice chairman of the pressure group, Seth Eduseit, says they have had enough.
For the past 14 months, some 12 months, some 14 months, we haven't received salaries. We have other issues from today and even up to the end of this month. He should call off this management. We can't work with them. So boy, they took this company from where we were having a market share of 30.8%, and now we are completely flat with 0%. Now we're stretched over 7 years. We haven't received both PF1, PF2. In addition to unpaid salary for the past 14 months and others 12 months.
Some of the affected staff say they have resorted to begging for alms and loans to survive.
Yeah, living on friends and families, to be borrowing and be owing. I do farming and stuff like that to keep up myself.
Some of us are seriously taken by surprise, so we need to be calling on friends and families and all that. We have become absolutely beggars.
Our children are now at home. We've not paid their school fees. They are demanding it from us. Our landlords are also evicting us.
The group has given government 1 month to deliver on their demands. Chairman of the pressure group, Frederick Kwame Boachi, says they will escalate their actions if their demands are not met.
In the first place, they have to put this management aside so that investigation should go on. Because our management is the cause of our problem.
But how long are you giving government to intervene?
In fact, with immediate effect, at least by the end of this month, if they don't come to our aid, in fact, there will be a commotion, brutal commotion in this country. We don't fear anything.
We were told management was not available when we attempted to get a response from them. The aggrieved staff have now given government, parliament and management of PBC 1 month, that is the end of August, to address all their concerns or incur their wrath. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Moving on, the Vice-Chancellor of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has emphasized the need for intentionality in the training of students by education stakeholders. Speaking at the inaugural graduation of Andelin School in Ejiso Krapa, Professor Mrs. Rita Akosua-Dixon believes it's crucial in cultivating transformative leaders. There's more in the following report.
The challenge that we have as Andelin School, as teachers, as directors of the school, and as few parents, is that a huge responsibility is entrusted to us. This future that we see, we will have to account for that future. And I love the motto of Andelin School, developing what? Tomorrow's leaders today. Developing tomorrow's leaders today, and that is exactly what it is. The tomorrow we want depends on what we are doing today.
The graduation event featured poetry recitals, language presentations, drama, and choreography. Mrs. Evelyn Boateng, CEO of Andelin School, expressed satisfaction with the steady progress in student infrastructure development at the school. She thanked the parents and staff for their numerous sacrifices and revealed plans to enhance moral and technological education.
Together with Edify Ghana, an international NGO established to improve and expand Christ-centered education, we have a more structured plan of improving morality of our learners. With effect from September this year, we hope to implement a hybrid curriculum with development by integrating challenges and opportunities of modern education. This means more hands-on practical learning.
David Abisiabe, chairman of the Owusu Municipal Branch of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools, noted the negative impact of students frequently moving between private schools due to unpaid tuition fees.
When they owe school fees from their previous schools and they move to another private school without paying the outstanding money, it is an unfortunate situation, and that is affecting a lot of private schools. In fact, we've had situations where parents hop from one school to the other. Say, for example, the child starts class 1 from school A, class 2, they move to another school till they finish, primary school. So by the time they get to primary 6, they would have been to about 4 or 5 or even more schools. And that is purely because parents are refusing to pay school fees. You see, but what parents don't know is that it affects the child's development.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
Now, away from education, some metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the Ashanti region are waiting in earnest to receive their promised road construction equipment under the government's District Road Improvement Program. President Akufo-Addo last week unveiled a fleet of over 2,000 units of equipment under the initiative that is aimed at decentralizing road projects to be carried out by the government in the over 261 assemblies across the country. But chief executives of Swami and Oforiko municipalities in the Ashanti region say they are yet to be handed their equipment for road projects in their communities. More in this report.
Under the District Road Improvement Program, the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies are expected to receive essential earth-moving equipment such as caterpillars, bulldozers and concrete mixers for roadworks in their localities. Funded through the District Assembly Common Fund, the initiative is meant to patch up and smoothen deplorable roads across the country. After the unveiling in Accra, a number of assemblies in the Ashanti region, including the Swami and Oforiko municipalities, are yet to be handed the equipment. Chief Executive for the Oforiko Municipal, Abraham Kwame Entry, spoke on Love FM.
No, as I speak, no. In fact, at the launch of the program, it was announced that after the launch, these equipment will begin to be transported to various locations. We have asked and specific date and time. However, the distribution is ongoing. We expect that with time, ours will also get to us. But as to whether tomorrow, Friday, Monday, that specific answer I haven't gotten yet.
As the general elections beckon, the local assemblies are eagerly awaiting the equipment to reshape deplorable and untarred road networks. Abraham Entry shares plans for the road construction works in the Oforiko municipality.
We have an inventory of all these road networks. We know the areas that require this maintenance activity. The next thing is that I also said that areas like Bomso not even necessarily needed. The other factor we have to consider is probably if you get to Emena Atiedu Wedi Kokobin, there is a major contractor doing some work there.
MCE for Swami, Maxwell Ofosu, is optimistic the equipment would reduce financial burden of hiring and facilitate construction of roads in every nook and cranny of the municipality.
But once we are going to have these machines, every corner of the municipal assembly will be covered. Every corner. Because you see, what caused the assembly so much is the hiring of those machines.
Lab News understands distribution of the equipment has begun in municipalities in the outskirts of the cities. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
It's now time for Business Update with Sweetie Abochi.
Let's get into some business stories, starting with oil exploration firm Tullow Oil. Ended the first 6 months of this year with a revenue picking up marginally. However, profit after tax saw some significant jump to reach $196 million and in June this year. More in this report.
Tullow Oil's revenue ending June 20
million. However, that amount in 2024 dropped to $759 million. But when it comes to the profit after tax, it went up by $73 million in the first 6 months of the last year to reach $196 million. Capital expenditure for half year also stood at $157 million, representing some significant increase over what it spent in the same period for last year. The oil exploration firm also paid $368 million in taxes on its operations, representing a significant jump compared to the $217 million it paid last year. The group chief executive of Tullow described the first half of the year as an exciting one based on the strong growth recorded in most areas of operations. He also added that all the key financial metrics improved significantly compared to the first half of 2023. This success was fueled by higher production and oil prices compared with lower expenditure in the first 6 months of this year.
The business community has backed moves by the Bank of Ghana to sanitize and maintain sanity in the financial sector following the sanctioning of 47 individuals and some 245 business entities for issuing dead checks. These individuals and businesses have also been barred from accessing new credit facilities from financial institutions. They also risk imprisonment of up to 5 years for indulging in that illegal act. Speaking to Joy Business, President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Clement Osei-Amwako, stressed the need for the private sector to ensure credibility is maintained in the financial sector.
You have a check. You must know that it is money. You don't go out and see whether the check will go through or not. But once you have a check and there's credibility, there's confidence, you know that this check is going to go through. So it can help you to plan, not to create problem for you in your future transactions. So for me, I feel that the credibility is there and the confidence will be there. And so we treat checks as money going forward. If you don't have money, don't issue checks. All right. Go in and negotiate with clients and build the trust. And that would be the best thing for private sector to reach. All those who have been issuing that checks are not credible to it, most of them. And so banks even want to build trust with their customers. And so if you don't have the credibility, it even helps the bank not to give loans to customers who might not even pay and end up being a bad loan. You know, then that also does not help the chain of credit creation to go through. So for me, everything that Bank of Ghana has said in this transaction is BOJ, GOG, etc. 2024-19, as I have it here. I think that I'm in support of that. The private sector must change their attitude and do business based on trust.
Now let's go for some updates in the currency market. And that's it for business updates. Denisia Pomeje takes over and she'll be telling us what's coming up next. Over to you, Denisia.
Up next is the news review. You want to stay for that conversation? Well, my name is Denisia Pomeje from Sweetie and I have a lovely day.